Hey, what's up, everybody? This is FrosT, and I am back with more high descent gameplay. We'll be playing York. I think it's season 93, day 13. Things are really picking up here. For those who didn't play, you're missing out. This one noble allocation point per day thing has really accelerated the pace of HD, and it's led to a lot of, I guess, different kinds of decisions being made. I think when I came back this year, I had gotten used to the current meta that is happening on Wilt, where everyone goes by level 20 or by level 27. We've even got some by level 14 things going on now. Whereas York is just a completely different ball game. I'm going to take you through some of my decision making today and go through my daily attacks as well. So I know I haven't really come up with a ton of videos, so just to recap where I'm at right now, I am by level 35 on York. I hit that a couple days ago, I think. I have one salary point, 4 mercenaries, and 10 daily attacks. And so I hit by level 35, and then I actually expanded to 4 mercs, and I chose to go mounted with a counter rogue to kind of hold things down. But based on the spies I've seen the last couple of days, I realize now that I'm going to probably need to pivot. And so I thought, why not make a video about it? I can either double down, actually, or I can pivot in another direction. So I've broken down my decisions as follows using trusty notepad. I've got 3 different options in front of me today as I go through my attacks. I'm just going to go back to the home screen first here. So option 1 is to go with 6 mercs by level 35, right? So I'm currently by level 35. I've got 4 mercenaries, and I've got a point here I can use. So I can take that, allocate that to mercenaries. I do have enough in my armory if I wanted to like actually sell some stuff to buy that merc and just start my day with 6 mercenaries, do my attacks. And so I think we all kind of do this in our own way, but I thought it'd be cool for me to do it here with you, is just sort of go through sequentially what a day would look like or what a few days would look like to see which strategy makes the most sense to choose. So option 1 would be, again, to allocate to 6 mercs, do my attacks with those 6 mercs, probably pick up another captain and pick up a champion, an axeman, because there's just like a million knifemen out there. Everyone's really pissed off with the rogues, so knifemen are everywhere. If I were to do that, I would take the points I get upon ranking today, assuming I win all my attacks, carry that over into the to December 30th for my 11th attack. I would get my spare point on the 30th, have 3 points total, which would allow me to allocate to, where is it here? Allocate to my 11th attack, right? Do my daily battles on the 30th. Maybe rank. I think I would rank with the extra attack. And then I would be able to also probably rank on the 31st and get my 12th attack. And so it just starts to sort of roll over. Actually, maybe not. I think I might need 4 for that one. I got to go back and revisit that. But more or less, I'd be looking at by level 35 with 1 salary point, 6 mercs, and more attacks. So this option is more designed to maximize the buy level advantage of arriving at 35 first, but also try and stack back as many attacks as I can so I can start working my way up the standings. I finished at 11th as of last reset, and so that would be the advantage. The downside to that is that I'm playing a setup in mounted that might not be the most effective based on the spy reports I've seen, and I also don't have a lot of ways to make that setup better. Like, I don't have a lot of salary to improve things. I could always add the points later, but then you kind of counter like what the original intent of that strategy was. And I think that's where people get into trouble in HD a lot, is they will go down a certain way and then they'll pivot, and then the mistakes compound on top of each other, and next thing you know, you're in like 20th place. So I try to avoid that if I can. It's really hard since we're in uncharted territory with this new allocation point thing. But so that's option 1. Option 2 would be to go by level 35 with 8 mercs. And so that might be useful if I think that mounted are doable, but in more numbers, or perhaps with more melee protection, right? 6 mercs would be if I was very confident that I could beat everybody, and I don't really need to add more. I just need to add more attacks so I can get more points. This one, number 2, is sort of like, I think, the middle ground. It's sort of like, okay, well, I could recomposition, or sorry, I can recomp my setup. I can make it some sort of hybrid setup if I wanted to introduce melee and bows today. If I wanted to go really heavy on the mounted, I could do that. Or I could pick up a defensive trio core of say a Templar, a Valkyrie, and a champion with 5 captains to attack, right? So that would look like this. I would buy 2 mercenaries. Sorry, I would allocate a point to mercs, buy 2 mercs right now, do my attacks, rank up, take 1 point, put it on salary, take the other point, put it on mercs, try and grind out the rest of that gold if I can, and try to pick up 2 more mercs. I think it might be possible with a good jousting day, selling off my armory, and like really just being gold efficient as I do my attacks today. Would then do my alliance battle. I would not rank on the 30th, so I would not get my 11th attack until New Year's Eve, the 31st. And I think 12th DA would actually be Jan 2nd. I think I need to revise my notes. I think the 12th attack is 4 points. So as a result, I would have by level 35 with 8 mercs, 2 salary points, and I wouldn't have my 11th attack until I wrote Jan 1st here, but I think it would be December 31st. The other option is to reset and just completely like wipe the slate clean and just race to buy level 44, leverage the fact that I've got access to stronger mercenaries, and use that as an opportunity to rebuild my setup. And so the advantage of that is I would be playing for power here. I would have the advantage of being a higher buy level than everybody else, but being able to choose a different kind of setup. So right now I'm playing mounted. If I don't feel mounted are effective, I could switch to melee. I could switch to a triangle. And I think it's very unlikely that people go past by level 35 this season. I think people are going to stop at 35. I think based on the spy reports and the pace people are progressing, I feel like there's almost a reluctance to be going past, or a sort of a nervousness or tentativeness in the player base to go past these new buy levels. Well, not really new, but you know what I mean. So I don't think very many people would be going by level 44. And it is something that is in play. I did the math, and so I would have to rank up today. I would allocate all 3 of my points, including this one here, to buy level. That would take me to buy level 38. I wrote 39, but I wouldn't rank tomorrow. I would be buy level 41 December 31st, and buy level 44 Jan 1st, I think, after attacks. So I would not be able to expand. Sorry, I'm just like revising this as I'm going through it here on video. And I would be by level 44 with about half of the season left to go, 15 days, right? And so that's like kind of when people hit by level 27 on like Wilt. So that would, probably put me in that kind of position. However, I would have the 10th attack, which is really cool, because on Wilt I would only have 9 attacks. So 3 different options, right? Not sure which one I'm gonna roll with here. But in order to sort of figure that out, I've taken a look at the spy reports, and I've spied the top 20, and it's really difficult because there's not a lot of information out there. You're really relying on player tendencies, what they've been playing this season, and honestly just like your best educated guess at some point. So I've taken the top 20 as of this last reset, put everybody into a list. Do I think my mounted setup, whether it's 6 or 8 mercs, could kill it as constructed? And then what do I think they're going to do? So starting at the top with Chicken Eater 3, right now I think that if I were to go to Spy, I could probably beat him today. Maybe not right away. I would probably need to like do some things first, but I think I could build my captains to get by this Baron, and I think I could build my melee to withstand his melee onslaught, including this actually. But the problem is he is probably going to hit by level 35 today, and he could switch everything on me. So if I were to make a plan based off of this, he could come back with like a bunch of mounted, or he could come back with a full offensive melee setup. Um, and now all of a sudden I don't know. So yes, I can kill him, but um, at the same point in time, the setup he builds at 35 might not be able to be defeated. Same with Obley as well. So he right now, if I look at his spy, my mounts could probably get by him, right? Like I'm looking at getting by a Baron with 166 agility, but I think, and his 343 damage, like that's not really a threat here. This 390 is, but the accuracy is not really there. I also wouldn't attack him first. There are other people I could kill first and level up on, but um, I'm not sure if, again, if he's gonna hit by level 35. His setup could look different. He's been playing this kind of setup all the way through though, so I don't think he's really ready to like scrap his entire armory and start with something different at by level 35 if he goes there. So I do think that whatever he builds, I should be able to beat. But again, it's not perfect science. It is sort of educated guessing. It is looking at a player's tendencies, what they've been doing. Jib, I don't know if I can beat him or not. Right now, he's running melee. He did attack me and lose yesterday. My bulky captains took care of his spies once they killed my rogues. So he typically likes to play different kinds of setups. I could see him going melee again at 35, which would probably mean I can't kill him. And I put that here in my notes section, right? So hit 35, has been running melee, so chances are it's probably a no. Monstar attacked me actually and is retaliated for his own death today. He did not go 35 today. I'm not sure if it's because he missed it or if he's just going to roll with by level 27. But he's got a couple of spies, a knight, an outlaw, another outlaw, sorry. So, like, I think I could build something to beat this with a core 3 defensive unit of a Valkyrie, a Templar, and a champion. I do think that I can get a higher buy level sword can stop these in their tracks, and I think a higher buy level axeman can stop this in its tracks too. And this knight like is not going to offer any real resistance against these captains either. Like that's just instant death. So Monstar here on the list, I put yes because as constructed, I think obviously need to add a couple of mercs. I'd probably need to do option 2 to beat him, but I definitely could build something. But I don't know if he's going by level 35. So Regidor, he is way behind in buy level. He's only buy level 20, so it's almost like irrelevant what he buys because there's just such a pronounced difference between 35 and 20. But just for comparison's sake here, like I'm sure if I were to attack him, I could probably get counters with these captains. 350 defense versus 326 damage. Yes, 160 accuracy versus this is good, but I've also got more HP than him, and I'm hitting him back with 400 damage to 200 defense. So, and I've got this covered too. So that's not really a concern. He's a guy that I can probably feast on no matter what option I go with, which is really comforting. Josher, he's a guy who typically plays mounted. He's in sort of like a triangle right now, I think, with the Gendarme and the Savage and the Blade Dancer. So that same sort of core 3 defensive melee setup, right? And then he's got his Barons and his bows, and so, but he's got a lot of minus signs behind his mercs. So that tells me that he hit by level 35 today. But so if he hit 35 and these guys haven't sold things, sorry, Regidor obviously not, but Monstar I'm looking at and Obley, maybe they are staying 27, right? So that's something else to consider. So Othop is next here. He's got, again, he's just trolling all of us with a bunch of knives. If he's staying with this setup, I could probably like just shut him down with like one champion. And then just backdoor the Baron. I don't know if he's going 35 as well. So I would know more in a day or two, but unfortunately, we have to make these decisions now in real time, and that's what makes HD so good. Looking at my friend Donut here, so he's got a hybrid setup here, Barons with accuracy. Um, he's got bows. He's got axe, rogue, and the sword. The same defensive three that I'm looking at building at buy level 35. Um, I can take this setup down, right? I don't know again if he's going by level 35. So there's a lot of yeses here, but then as we go further down into the set, into the top 20, and I look at the setups there, um, there are a bunch that are that are going to be like no's, and I won't go through every single person because we only have so much time on this video. But like a guy like Grim Reaper, right now I could probably kill him because he's only got like a bunch of baby mercs, but as this matures, I will not be able to beat him. Like, look at the speed on this 140, 129 versus the captain. He's going to be hitting me like 2 to 1 on the script at the very least, even if I allocate speed. So, um, this is not an ideal setup for me to go up against. So, that would be a no. And there's some other ones down here as well. Like, Ngibby, I think, went. So, he's gone with. He's got all the minus signs too. So, he looks like he just hit 35, and he's been running melee as well. So, I think it's very unlikely that somebody with 6 melee mercs is going to just flip to mounted at by level 35. It's not common. I mean, people do it. I've done it, but I'm not so sure he would. I think he's going to roll with melee all the way through for gold efficiency and all that kind of stuff too. So Zeratol's another one. And so I'm just showing you guys here because there are some setups that as I allocate to more to attacks, I need to start introducing good quality targets to the mix. And I'm not so sure those are great targets. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Honestly, I think I can sort of, after looking through the spies, I can kind of take this one off the table. I think that it's not enough power to get through. This would be something that would be ideal if people were stopping at 27. Like if everyone was stopping at 27 and I went 35. I wouldn't need the extra salary. I wouldn't need the extra buy level. So I can get that sort of off the table. What I'm really flirting with here is running a defensive core of a Templar, a Champion, and the Valkyrie that I already have. And adding like 2 more captains to the mix and speeding them up a little bit. Sacrificing some accuracy on some powerful, fast captains. I think that could break a lot of enemy captains via the triangle. I think that could also be something that, like, even melee setups that have like mounts blocking, I think I could really work through that. Be more of a defensive mounted kind of setup, like mounted being offensive, but with 3 melees defending it, it's a little different. You're sacrificing power, you're sacrificing speed, but you're covered off against more things, right? Different types of melee, especially as offensive melee are so popular this year. So I'm leaning towards that option right now. The other one, and perhaps the most conservative one, would be to just refresh. I think a mounted setup looks very vulnerable right now at buy level 35 based on some of the stuff I've shared and you've seen in the spy reports. It would be a good opportunity to go buy level 44, pick up some even stronger offensive melee like a mercs like a Stylite or a Paladin or something like that. You know, or I think a Rover or something like that. But the journey from 35 to 44 is going to be a difficult one with just these 4 mercs. So that's what I need to debate. I need to decide decide if I can make it to 44 with these mercenaries while still getting a good amount of XP and not really trying to leave too many points on the table. So it's not really a great position. I think buying mounted at buy level 35 was a mistake on my part, and I've put myself kind of in a jam. So I can either, like I said, double down on it and try to make it work, or I can do a wipe and reset at buy level 44, but I'm gonna have to navigate some real landmines in order to get there. So let me know what you do, and if you were in my position, And yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.